Hello, viewers. You're welcome to this program. Today, I'll be talking on how to handle contempt in marriage and relationships. I always tell my clients in all marital relationships, partners are meant to see themselves as lovers, but sometimes the reverse is always the case. Rather than working as a team, partners choose to work as competitors, which is unhealthy for such relationships. Without missing words, contempt is one of the behavior that could make one see his or her partner as a competitor. Someone might be asking, what is contempt all about? If you must know, it is an offensive emotion whereby there is a feeling that a person is worthless or beyond consideration. In marriages, contempt refers to a spouse feeling superior to the other. It involves treating the spouse with disrespect, ridicule, disgust, and this type of behavior is usually accompanied by name calling, eye rolling, sneering, or even mockery. You can mention them. Among of the four horses in marital conflicts, which are criticism, defensiveness, stonewalling, contempt is one and worst of them all. Most of the times when I counsel some couples, some of them keep on complaining, oh, I don't know how my spouse changed. He or she wasn't like this. And my reply to them is always, something always leads to something. Contempt develops and prevails in a home when a spouse builds and nurtures resentment towards his or her partner and always focuses on the other spouse's qualities that he or she dislikes. I always ask myself, what happens to the positive traits of your partner? Why focusing more on the negative? Unresolved conflicts of the past also leads to contempt in marriages. To avoid contempt in marriages, do not hold onto negative emotions. Ensure to address issues properly whenever there is misunderstanding between you and your spouse. Now we have understood what contempt is, the concept of contempt, what can lead to contempt. So I want us to look at how to handle contempt. In this video, I'll be talking on 3 key ways on how you can handle contempt in your marriage. And if you're able to follow and apply these 3 keys, then I assure you that your marriage will be a success and a prosperous one. Firstly, how to handle contempt. Always tell your spouse what you need rather than focusing on what is wrong with him or her. This should be done with a right approach. Remember, when you're doing something and you apply the wrong approach, you always get a negative result. There was this story of a couple that exhibited its comfort behavior and ended up in divorce. They could not express what they need, but dwelt on their negative behavior and sharing them with friends that are far away from their families. In fact, if I should tell you a bit of the story, this couples married about some years back. Okay, and when they got married, okay, while they were courting, normally when they visit each other, they go to the restaurant to get their meals. The lady does not cook at home because she was quite busy. She was a banker. And eventually, when they got married, the same attitude she was portraying, that was what she was portraying while she was married. She never cooked for the family for one day. Even at weekends when she's free, she doesn't go to work. She doesn't care about cooking for the family. So the husband was so pissed with this attitude. Even the worst of them all, when she comes back from work, remove her clothes, she can't even hang them. She removes and drop them on the floor. So those clothes remains there. She'll go work the next day, come back, the same thing. So you see heap of her clothes on the floor in the room. So after like 1 month, she'll pack her clothes to the dry cleaner to do the washing. So the husband was so surprised and amazed with this attitude. But for me, I will say this attitude was still present while they were cutting. But the only thing was that the husband was blindfolded. He couldn't see all this. And the worst of them all, if I should say, for one day, the man couldn't express his feelings to the wife. Oh, my dear, this attitude, I hate it. Can you please hang your clothes? Can you do this? Something like this. Maybe one day she could change, because I know, or we know, that it's very difficult to change someone's habits because it's been built over time. But what this man does, or the husband does, he goes around discussing with the friends, telling the friends the bad attitude of the wife, things like that. He got to a point of time, he doesn't come back home any longer. Even when he comes back home, the wife will call him all sorts of names. She goes on to call him devil. If a relationship have gone to this extent, how would you actually manage such a relationship? So I will always advise all married couple, try to work out your relationship the way you want it. Okay? So we are looking at how to handle contempt in marriage. Secondly, be empathetic. What do I mean by this? Try to understand your spouse's emotion. Empathy is a high degree of understanding other people's emotion. This means you should be able to understand and share the feelings of your spouse. Empathy is a relationship builder, if you don't know, and a powerful tool to heal a relationship that is inflicted by contempt. There was this story of a couple who had misunderstanding as a result of infidelity. They were able to reunite, thank God for that, as a result of showing empathy. And actually, the defaulter was the husband, so he had to take a back seat. He reasoned, and he tried to put himself in the shoes of his wife. So that was how their relationship were able to come back to life again. While exercising empathy in your marriage, endeavor to appreciate your spouse's strengths and qualities you admire. Never disregard your spouse's feelings. This is very, very important. Validate your spouse's feelings as well. Thirdly, stop holding on to unpleasant memories. This is very, very deadly, even to your health. Like we know, there will always be differences in our relationships. Sometimes they might not be accepted by our partners. Dwelling on negative incidents that has happened might lead to developing hatred and scornful behavior over time towards your partner. If you want to properly deal with contempt in your marriage, you have to accept the fact that there is no perfect marriage. I always tell this to my clients. There is no perfect marriage anywhere. Forget about those that will tell you for 25 years of marriage, they've never had misunderstanding with the wife. We've been hearing this. It is not true. The only difference is this. Conflict will always come, differences will always come. Don't forget that marriage is a journey. And you know, when you're embarking on a journey, there are times the road will be smooth. There are times there will be difficulties. There are times there will be stumbling block. There are times the road will be so rough that you'll be like, am I at the right path? But try to understand yourself and work out your relationship. So stop admiring other people's relationship. It's not bad, you can admire, but make yours work. It is your duty to make it what you want it to be. You have to learn to accept each other's mistakes and walk through each other's differences. All this can be restructured by changing and reshaping your mind. Your mind is just like an engine room, so don't play with it. You will start seeing the positive sides and traits of your spouse once your mindset is changed. However, the remedy for contempt in marriage is to exhibit the habits of appreciation and respect. Don't fail to appreciate your partner. Don't fail to show respect to your partner. Remember, it is reciprocal. In conclusion, it is your duty to make your marriage what you want it to be. At this juncture, I would like to thank you for being a part of this program. Have a nice time.